What's up, guys? Welcome to Vintage Genetics, where it is of course about classic bodybuilding. Today will be an epic back workout, working on all the weaknesses, keeping it classic with all the basic compound exercises done the right way. So if you want to know how to work your back, how to make it grow, make sure to keep watching. So we start out with the lat pull down in front of the body. I haven't done this in quite a while. I like doing it behind the neck to really work on the back thickness, but this time I wanted to start out with a back width exercise. And the lat pull down, when going all the way up and going all the way down in front of the body, really works the width more in comparison to the thickness. And then we're doing our lat pull down reverse, and with reverse I mean it basically looks the same except you're sitting backwards, you're sitting reverse, and this changes the angle upon which you pull down, and this angle changes so much that it actually works the thickness as well. You can really feel it contract the middle back and even through the lower back if you do it like this. It really depends on the machine that you have, but usually when you sit backwards the feeling is very different. So trust me, try this out. However, the main difference is that you don't have any leg support holding you down. So when doing this exercise, I'd recommend at least doing one exercise beforehand so you're already kind of fatigued, because if you're doing a very heavy weight you will only be pulling yourself up instead of pulling the weight down. So remind that when doing an exercise like this. Then after doing the pull down exercises, it is time for the rowing exercises. And this is the bent over row. And what I like to do is I like to let the bar go down below my knees, getting a full range of motion and keeping my back very arched. As you can see, as I'm about to do this next set number 2, you will see that my back is very arched, and the more arched your back is, the better the contraction in your lower and middle back is, and at the same time you are saving your lower back, protecting it, because if you have a rounded back there's way too much stress on the spine, which is not what you want, because trust me, having an injury in the spine really holds you back for weeks if not months. I have been there doing way too heavy squats without keeping my back arched enough. And then when I'm going to a heavier weight like this, to protect my back even more, I like wearing a tight belt. Now, I don't recommend doing this for every single set, because you do want your core to be engaged on its own, but wearing a weightlifting belt actually enhances the contraction of your core. It enhances the contraction of the lower back and the abs, because those muscles are now, right now, pushing against the belt, being able to contract harder and keeping everything tighter in place. And that is how it really protects the lower back. And then we move on to the almost heaviest set. I didn't record the master last set, but I just want to show you quite a lot of sets of the bent over row so you can actually see what I'm going through. I started out with set 1, just a warm-up. I always like to warm up with a light weight when doing a free weight movement. But as you can see, still with a heavy weight. You know, a lot of people like go a lot heavier, but to me this feels heavy. If you want to do it correctly, you still go below the knees and let the bar go up to your belly button, making sure you contract the lower and middle back, which is what I want to improve upon. And of course, after doing a lot of compound exercises using 2 arms at the same time, I always like to include at least one exercise when doing back unilaterally. So a unilateral exercise means you're working one arm before the other. So one half of the back is worked before you work the other half. So if you have an imbalance, for example, I make workout plans for people, and a lot of times they say, oh, I have an imbalance in my lats, my left lat is bigger than my right, or my left bicep is bigger than my right. And in that case you want to do unilateral movements. And how you fix those imbalances is that you start out with your smallest / weakest side and do reps until failure with that side, especially on the last set. So for example, you can do 12 reps with your weakest side, your left side, and then you move on to the right and stronger side. You can easily do 12 reps and even more, but you stop at the amount of reps that your left side did. And this way, the weaker side did more effort than the stronger side, and the imbalance will slowly go away. That doesn't happen overnight, but it slowly will happen. And this exercise, I'm really trying to utilize a full range of motion, so stretching the lats out as far as possible, actually making sure that I include the width a little bit as well. And when contracting, I move my upper body so that I'll be able to contract even deeper into the lower back, and that is the benefit of doing unilateral movements as well. And of course, you guys, I always like ending with a pull over exercise for the back. Normally I would be doing dumbbell pullovers, but this time I really felt like doing rope pullovers because of the superior contraction that you get doing this exercise. A lot of people ask me, how do you do the dumbbell pullover? I cannot really feel it in my back. For those people, I recommend starting with a cable pullover with a rope like this. It automatically forces you to contract the back, and you can really get a better mind-muscle connection using this exercise. Because the main reason people don't feel it is you cannot use your arms. Your arms are literally just stuck, and they are only moving at the joint of the shoulder, and you're not using your biceps. Because if you're using the biceps to really pull and row a weight, you basically automatically contract your back. But with this exercise, you are forced to only use your back as the point of contraction, not your biceps. So it's a more difficult exercise to master, which is why if you have trouble doing the dumbbell pullover, try doing a cable pullover first. And then after doing 5 back exercises, we move on to the biceps. Of course, we cannot miss doing the biceps. Now, if you guys follow me for a longer time, you know that my biceps are a strong point compared to my triceps. So I'm only going to do 2 exercises today instead of 3. A lot of people find it difficult to stop working the strong points as much. But if you keep working your strong points as much as your weak points, then you will never fix that imbalance. So I just have to swallow my pride, work the biceps a little less, work the triceps a little more, and make sure that I first make my arms look proportionate before moving on to working the biceps and triceps the same again. That is what classic bodybuilding is all about. Anyway, we are starting out with the unilateral machine curls, and as you can see, I'm starting out with the left side. My left bicep is a little smaller compared to my right. It is not that noticeable, but to me it is. Every single millimeter needs to be addressed. So I'm doing it right here using a full range of motion, stretching the biceps all the way down. But remember, do not overstretch the biceps. That is not what you want to do. You want to stretch the biceps until you feel a nice pull, and then go straight back up, not too explosively, because if you do it explosively you might actually injure your biceps, because there's a lot of tension being pulled all of a sudden, and you don't want that. The biceps are a relatively small muscle group, which is why I'm also not using a lot of weight. I'm really focusing on the contraction and the stretch, getting a good pump, and the better the pump, the better the blood flow to that muscle, and the better the growth will be. And I have to say, this still remains one of my absolute favorite exercises for the biceps. The close grip preacher easy curl. Easy bar curl. Well, that's a long name, but as you can see, it really works the bicep peak. Why? Because if you have a close grip on a barbell, you work the outer head just a little more than the inner head. And when the outer head becomes longer, stronger, bigger than the inner head, you actually create a bicep peak, like Arnold, like all the bodybuilders from the 70s and 80s, which is what we as classic bodybuilders want to emulate. So you don't want to use a very heavy weight again, because otherwise you cannot contract the biceps properly. You want to be able to focus on that contraction, because it's in that contraction phase that the peak is being created, is being sculpted. Remember, we are not powerlifters, we are sculptors in the gym, adding on mass exactly where we want it. So full range of motion, go all the way down, go all the way up until you feel a full contraction, and if you don't feel it, lower the weight. Alright guys, that was the video of today. I hope you learned something, and right now I am 9 days out of my contest on March 11, a classic physique contest which is called the Royal London. I haven't told you guys about the exact contest yet. It is an NPC contest, so actually it comes from America, and America has been getting shows in Europe lately, and one of them is in the UK, London, which I will be competing in according to the official classic physique rules. So I'm almost at the weight that I need to be. I am absolutely excited about doing this show. It is exactly what I've always wanted. I don't want to be a super heavyweight. I want to be a classic bodybuilder, and right now this class comes the closest to what I want to look like. So this is what I will be doing. I will of course record everything backstage, contest itself, what I'll be eating, my nutrition, my experiences, and more during my time in London. So you will be seeing it all, and hopefully I'll be doing very good on that stage. I'm quite confident that everything will be going alright, but you never know. But I will be showing my best shape ever on that stage. And I want to thank you guys for all the support you've brought me. This really has helped me throughout the prep. All your positive comments, the positive vibes I get from you guys. So thank you very much. And the next video that I will be posting might be a nutrition video about what I'll be eating in peak week, or the next video will be coming out quite late, as on next Thursday morning I will already be leaving to London, so from then I won't be able to post much video. So in that case, if you want to still follow what I'm doing, follow me at Instagram at Wesley Vissers. If you don't know how to spell it, check out the description of this video, and my Instagram tag is in there. Again, I want to thank you for watching. I'm excited for this contest, and don't forget to stay golden.